Ba 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 ba. I've been driving for more than a year. It feels like forever, and it feels like a different world that I'm familiar with. A little bit familiar with because go-kart, Mario Kart, go-kart at Camp 99. It was kind of good and kind of, bumper cars going back before that to, I don't know, 92 or something. So it's like, biking, it's like I've always compared driving to a number of things: basketball and biking and go-karting and bumper cars and you name it. I just compare it, and people are like, no, it's totally different. Yeah, sure, it's totally different. A little bit the same, a little bit not the same. And with that said, I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot now. Here, driving for over a year. Started driving last year after I turned 40 in 2025. And in some ways I look back and I'm like, man, that was the good old days back in 2025, a year ago. And I feel like, man, that was pretty cool. That was pretty good. And I mean, obviously, it wasn't necessarily the best year of my life, but it was kind of good. It was kind of hard. It was like a little bit of this and a little bit of that, as any year might be, could be, and is actually, and it was good because I was able to take my mom around to places, and then it was my first time driving to Oregon 2 times last year, and we went to the coast, went to the coast in Washington State 2 times too, and on separate trips, and a few other places, and even recently to a wedding, and it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good, and I feel like how do I feel? Does it matter how I feel? Does it matter? I was just thinking about Back to the Future a little bit, and man, where we're going, we don't need no roads. We don't need no freaking roads, if you know what I mean. We're not gonna drive because we're going to the future. We're going to the goddamn future of 2025? No, 2015. We're going to 2015. 2015, that's not the future. Wait a minute. They were gonna, if they really wanted to reboot Back to the Future, are they gonna resurrect Marty? Michael J. Fox? Nah, he's still alive. He's not rolling in his grave yet. But it's like, what are you gonna do about it? I don't know what I'm gonna do about it. I just thought that, what do I think? I think that I have a need for speed, and I feel like I'm looking around and I'm like, man, what kind of world do we have? We have a great world, but it was a little bit cold back around 536, they say, allegedly, around that time, for around 500 years, said Randall Carlson. He said it on a podcast. They were talking for 4 hours. Allegedly, they were. Not allegedly, but not allegedly. But it's like, I like that word. I do like that word. And I like to scream because I feel like my voice is a little bit better when I do that, even though probably not that much better. But you know what was better is when it started getting hot in the world after around 1000 AD. For 100 years or so, and it seems like they're building a lot of stuff in the world for 100 years, especially around that time, allegedly. If you look at history and you look at how hot was it, how long were the days, maybe not how long the days were, but mostly how the weather was. You think about it, and you think to yourself, why were things so incredible around 1000 AD? Probably because of the climate. Goddamn global warming. Global warming? Yeah. And that was pretty cool. And in other news, apparently 67% of the elected people in the American government, they run unopposed. They run unelected. Not unelected. What did I say? Unelected. Unelected. Some of them might not be elected allegedly, but what's the word? Uncontested. Man. Uncontested. Those are the two things that probably spoke to me the most. No, not really. I was gonna say those are the two biggest things for me today, but that's not really true. I had other things coming at me, but they're not coming to my mind right now. Or they might be, but they're not really. Let me think. Maybe if I wait here, if I sit long enough, maybe the thoughts will come back. Oh yeah, okay. There's one. There's one of my ideas. I always have a lot of ideas. I don't know if I told you that. But I did actually. But it's like people like me are haunted with that problem. They're tormented with that problem of having ideas. And so that's why if you're some kind of idea person, you gotta have a paper and pen at all times, like Michael Jackson. Hee-hoo! My inner Michael coming out. My goddamn inner Michael coming out. I apologize for my face, for my voice, for a lot of different things. I always apologize, not all the time, but sometimes over the years doing all this stuff in my videos, in my articles, and everything else. I apologize. Maybe I shouldn't, and maybe I don't. Sometimes I don't, but I don't apologize for the I'm gonna say for the goddamn oatmeal Bible. The goddamn look at the irony in that. How dare you say goddamn, and then you say the Bible? The Bible. Billy, are you done hanging out with your mother? Shut up. I mean like how can anybody say that? Well, I said it, and I mean it in a lot of ways, just like I mean a lot of things, but my head is spinning, and maybe I shouldn't be like this, like maybe I shouldn't be the way that I am, but and you wouldn't know, like, what am I talking about? Because, like, I don't really represent myself very well most of the time, so you wouldn't know what I'm talking about, unless if you know what I'm talking about, but you don't really know what I'm talking about. But if you think you know, you think you know, but you don't know, and then maybe I think I know, but I don't know, and it's like, what are you talking about? What it's like, let me just tell you that I really wanna upload this video, and I want you to know that one of my ideas is having the oatmeal Bible channel, it would be like another channel. Another channel of the Oatmeal Joey Arnold Network. It'd be another, 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 another project of mine, which is really cool and terrible. Cool and terrible. That's so terrible. That's so great. That's great. That's terrible. Did I tell you I'm bipolar? Yes, you did. Okay. But seriously, like, cereal. Serious. No, I'm oatmeal. Cereal. No, I'm oatmeal. It's like, the idea of having an annoying voice. Sometimes I feel like my voice is annoying, and then I apologize for that, but I don't apologize for the idea of having an oatmeal Bible where I talk about the Bible and stuff, which is very important to me, even though I don't talk about it all the time, but sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't talk about the Bible, and maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I just gotta go back to school and learn how to get a better voice and a better face and a better phone and a better this and a better that, and start all over and rebrand myself and not just rehash stuff. But then I do, but then I don't, but I do, but I do sometimes, but I don't all the time. And then there's always new people who don't know and old people who do but don't really know the full context. And then there's the trolls and the haters and the lovers, and not really the lovers. And then there's Roy, and then there's other people too, and people who are not gonna pay attention to every single word that I say. Not that they should, but then if they say they do and they don't, that's a crime. Not really a crime, but it's like, what do you expect if you do yourself dirty? And I did myself dirty. No, I didn't do myself dirty, but I did, but I didn't. But it's like having another channel will only drag me down. The water's still on because he's still watering the garden over there. But it's like, is that gonna work? Is that gonna work? Sometimes I'm like, I'm scrolling around and surfing the internet, like I've been since '95 or something, 31 years. Been scrolling the cable world and the interwebs, and like sometimes, especially the last few years, I'm like looking around at people, and I'm like, oh man, that guy has a podcast too, and this person has a podcast too, and this other person has a podcast too, and another person has a podcast too, and this person has a podcast, and this person, and you get a pie, and you get a pie, and you get a bike, and you, what about Kathy, and will she ever come back with my bike? Everybody gets a bike, and not me. I get the bike stolen in Vietnam. That's a joke, that's a meme. It's not a joke, it's not a meme, but it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. And Roy doesn't like when I yell, but I don't yell. I'm very passionate and stuff, and sometimes if I don't over pronunciate and stuff, then if I don't really enunciate everything, then I don't really understand when I'm like watching the videos, which I don't like watching. I don't like watching my videos, but I do sometimes. But I do sometimes, but it's like, can I do another project? And then I'm almost like behind. I feel like a lot of times I'm so behind, so tired, tired of waiting, for myself to get done with all these projects. I'm home now, but am I home? What is home? Where is home? I asked another question, like I'm always asking myself questions, and I'm asking the world so many questions, and I'm making all these videos and articles and comments and posts, and one of them was what country should I live in, and do people want me to go back to Vietnam, And it's not my first time asking that question again and again and again, and on top of the other questions and the other stuff that I say, stuff that I do. And, like, I like to ramble. But then, what is the point of, like, ranting? There's a little bit of value, and maybe something can come out of it, and it does, and it doesn't, and it does, and it doesn't, and it does, and it doesn't. A little bit. Like, if you're like thinking about it, it's like, yeah, you can do it, but if you do it too long, you're gonna die. Yeah, man. And presentation is very important, and sometimes that stops me. Because sometimes I'm thinking to myself, man, I don't want to do it because phone not good enough, my face not good enough, my eyes not good enough, my mouth not good enough, this thing not good enough, this other thing not good enough. Not good enough. And as a bipolar, autistic, perfectionist, George Lucas, man, dude, want to be filmmaker, doctor, pastor, builder, Bob the Builder, musician, filmmaker, did I say artist, and a number of things. It's like, what a man to do. And I'm not gonna rant for an hour right now like I did the other day, introducing myself, or 2 hours introducing myself again like I did, which I do sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I do this. And I'm thinking about doing it again, but not right now. And maybe not in his car, and maybe not with his phone. That gives me the yellow, orange teeth, which I don't really have. And maybe I have a little bit, but not this bad. I think the camera doing it. I think the camera's fault. It's like the perspective of the camera is a little bit off. And my own perspective might be a little off. The phone might be a little off. And my face might be a little off. And my mind might be a little off. And your mind might be a little off too, and maybe it takes a person like me to get you to see that things are a little bit off, and sometimes you just gotta take a step back and realize that you got things a little bit off. And what a man gonna do? Like, for me, this video might be counterproductive, might be too counterproductive. Everything's counterproductive a little bit sometimes, but it's like, it's like, oh, what am I gonna do about? Well, what am I gonna do about? What am I gonna do about it? I don't know, man. But got a lot of things on my mind. Been ranting for almost 20 minutes. I'm gonna upload this video. I don't expect a lot of people to say a lot of words to me right now in response to this, because I think, in my own opinion, that not a lot of people study my work all the time. I know a little bit of people do sometimes, and that's good and great and terrible and fantastic and terrible that people look at me, the trolls and the haters and the fans and the lovers, and or whatever it is and isn't, is and or isn't, because it is and it isn't a number of things. And I've already said that I'm aware and not aware of that and more. And I tell people that, and I try to tell people that, and I try to tell people that again and again and again, but the trolls will be like, nah, he never said this, nah, he never said that, nah, he didn't say this thing, he didn't say that thing, he didn't, Oatmeal Joey Arnold he never said thing A and thing B and this other thing, he never said, but I did, But I did. What day is it? Hold on, let me look. Why is it not telling me? Trying to find why does it not have a date on here? Okay, so for the record, it is right now. It is 8:15 p.m. Pacific. Summertime. At the summertime, like Will Smith says in his song, "The Summertime." Whatever. How does that song go? It is 8:15 p.m. Thursday, the 4th day of June, 2026. I'm looking making sure that it's still recording and stuff. And my name is Oatmeal Joey Arnold at Joey Arnold VN. That's my username at my username is at Joey Arnold VN everywhere online, on social media and everything. And as a quick disclaimer that I already said in videos, in goddamn videos and troll and what did I say, trolls again, articles. I try to say a lot of different things. I still have the longest. I probably have I try to have the longest disclaimer in the world, and stuff and more, etc. And I want to say as part of my disclaimer, I want to say, I'm probably really bad at that. And I'm probably really, really bad at other things too. And I probably shouldn't make this a big deal. But part of me is like, I want to do it because it's kind of funny, but also not funny, but funny, but not funny. Not funny, but funny, but not funny. Funny, but not funny. I'm like a little bit ironic. I'm like feeling ironic. And stuff. I want to say stuff because I feel like I can't fully express, communicate everything that I feel, that I really feel, and what I'm thinking, and what I believe, and what I'm doing in my life right now, and in the past, and for the future, and more. If there is anything else, what else is there? The past, present, and the future. I think I nailed it. I think I did. Got all my bases covered, as they say, and using a goddamn baseball analogy, but it's like I want to say one of the reasons why I'm doing this video, and a good purpose for making this video is it's good practice. You might say to yourself, a lot of good that does. Yeah, a lot of good that does, since I've done this before. I mean, I made a lot of videos. I've been making videos for 30 years. Since 1996. And you might say, man, you haven't really got a lot better. I might say, oh, well, I tried. Try harder. Okay, I'll try a little bit harder. My disclaimer is everything. I mean, everything you could think of in a disclaimer is like, I'm just a random nerd stuck in the body of an athlete. I said a lot of things, did a lot of things, but it's like all the trolls and the haters take it out of context and stuff. They take it out of content and context and character and more. And it's really hard to understand because, I'm this crazy person who says a lot of crazy stuff sometimes, but not all the time. But nobody has the time. Nobody has the time to try to get to the bottom of it. Nobody cares. I mean, you might care. I might care. Few people might care. Care Bears. But seriously, like, some of y'all be like, what do I care? Why did Roy care? Says Maya. I don't know, because I'm not in my Discord anymore, because I've been banned for so long. But it's like, but seriously, like, I wanted to make this video to tell you how I feel, and making this video probably does more harm than good. I'm aware of that. This video is probably more counterproductive than anything else. I'm aware of that. And so you're probably wondering yourself, if somebody was watching this, which I doubt at this point, I doubt anybody's watching this, I mean, all the way through. I mean, it's like, I know I might get three views. 3 views. This video is probably gonna only get 3 views, maybe less, maybe this one. Let's just maybe none. I don't know. But a lot of videos they only get a few views. I shouldn't be talking about this because it's like then some people are like, oh man, he cares about this, but I do and I don't. I do. Okay, I confess I do, but I don't. I care about other things too, but I care about all of it. But it like I say that to say, what's the point of making the video if not a lot of people watching all the way through? It's like basically, I might be talking to myself right now because not a lot of people watching it all the way through, and not everybody gonna be like really listening to the nuance and the goddamn details. They're probably gonna take me out of context again like they do with everything else. That's why I try to sometimes put out longer videos and articles and a lot of different things on all the websites and apps all over the internet, because I want there to be some goddamn record. For the record, for the archives, for the history books. In case anybody really wanted to know, they can know, or they can ask AI to know. And maybe the AI will do it, or maybe the AI won't, because it depending on AI. Some AI might be pretty good at doing it, and some AI won't. But that depends. That really depends on the size of the token. You know that when you ask the AI a question, or when you say something to the AI will only do something with a limited time, a limited token, because it only, like, the programming of the AI will usually just go for a period of time, which is going to be very small, probably less than a second. I mean, it's probably going to be rendered in some goddamn quantum supercomputer, kind of thing, somewhere in a super mega church with John Hagee. No, John. And the Israel people dealt with Jesus wisely. Now, did he say that? I don't know what he said. I wasn't alive in the 80s. Wait, I was. Born in 85. Been online since 95. And I gotta tell you, do I sound drunk? I'm not. But you could try to ask AI. But the AI probably not gonna get it right unless if you ask a really smart AI a question, or you help steer it. It really depends on the AI, but purpose of this video, ranting. Yes, ranting. That was the only purpose. It started out with me saying a few things that were new, somewhat new, relative to the other stuff that I've already talked about before. But I like the sound of my voice, and I don't. But I do. But I don't. But I do. But I don't. I really do, but I don't. I really do, but I don't. And I want you to know how conflicted I feel about it. Not that it matters, but it does, but it doesn't. Yeah. Soup was good. Food was good. Gardening is good. I think about what are the things I'm most passionate about in life. I think through all the different topics that I really care about, I think about my hobbies. I think about the things that I do for fun. And so, logically, chronologically, I, I can look through my life and I can think about the things I've done, and that's one way to go about it. Like in order to determine what do I care about right now, and for the future I look at the past and I can sort of see patterns. I can see the good and the bad. I can see the pros and the cons. I can sort of imagine what worked, what didn't work. That's the value of history. Even though it's tainted a little bit, but what can you do? You start with what you know and you work your way backwards. You what's the word? Reverse engineer it. That's about all you can do. You're always gonna be biased. You're always gonna be limited. You're always gonna be a number of things. Anybody can, anybody will, everybody is. I mean, we're all falling short of the glory of God, as it says. But it's like, seriously, like, it's like we are. Whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, we really are. Why is there a cat going under my car? Under my car. Why is my face going under my mind? It's just who we are. And so you look through it all to try to figure it out. To really understand. And what do I know? Okay, if I go quickly through my life and think about what I've done and what happened, I can sort of see a little bit about what I might care about and what I should do and what I might be good at. Allegedly. So let me do that right now. Okay, quickly. Born in '85, homeschooled, played basketball and video games. Grew up in a trailer park ghetto, hanging out with people, playing around, biking, and a number of games that people played in the 1900s, the 1980s, 1990s. Watching the Power Rangers and the Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtles in a Half Shell. And a number of things that you would imagine from that era of time, going to a number of groups all the time, growing up, if you can imagine, different goddamn churches, like the Community Baptist Church in Cornelius and Hillsborough, and there were a few in Forest Grove and in Hillsborough, Cornelius, a number of cities like what's the other one? Hillside, and what's the other one? By Hag Lake. There's another one. Gaston, not Gaston. I didn't really go to the one in Gaston, but there was another one towards Hag Lake. The Bible one? What's that? The Bible one? It's like there's two Bible ones. But growing up, going to different camps and the Salvation Army and Word of Life Olympians, and I went to their Bible college and in New York, and I attended Awanas growing up, and so I was involved in all these groups and hanged out with a lot of different people every day, and I did Kumon math, learned Kumon math. That's another club. You can go to Kumon. That was near the library in Forest Grove. Hop on the bus and go there, but hop on the bus and go to a lot of places. And what happened to the people with the big noses, and you hop on the bus and it's like they're there. They're somewhere. And then what happened? What do they do with all those people? Where do they take those ugly people with the warts on their noses and the big long noses and the really long buses? And what happened to them? And what happened to all the bills? Not your bill, my bill. And I had some mice and I stuck them in a tree and they fell off and they froze to death and stuff. And I had some guinea pigs and cats and dogs and all. I grew up with different people and animals and camping and sports and basketball and I was a few years behind, but my mother homeschooled me and I started catching up. And it was difficult sometimes. It was a number of different things, and I was I was doing the Bible clubs and memorizing verses and doing amazing. And some people thought I had a photographic memory because I was learning so many Bible verses and I would recite them. I would say them. You go to the club Wednesday night, Tuesday night, sometimes Thursday night, sometimes other nights, mostly those nights. And I would say those verses, like a bunch of verses and things from the books that they had for Awanas, and Olympians, and a bunch of different things. And I would just sprout them out, pow, 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 like a sprinkler, pow, 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 pow. And I started doing that. Started attending Awanas when I was about 3. Happened after my mom got hit by a car. My brother saved my life, pulled me out of the way. That happened around Thanksgiving, 1988. We started going to Awanas after that. And I did a lot of things with a lot of people, in a lot of places. And it started back then. And it started back there. If you think about it, I swear, even though you might say you can't swear, as a goddamn Christian, you can't say goddamn. Can't do this, can't do that. And you might be right. You might be wrong. You might be a little bit of both. Can I say that? Can I say that? And I was homeschooled, and I went to high school, and went to four colleges. I went to 4 colleges, and I worked at different camps in New York, California, Oregon. How many camps did I work at? 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4. How many times? About, I want to say, 5 summers and 2 winters, and had different jobs. Started working with my father in landscaping back in, I want to say, about around 1994, something like that. And gradually, more and more and more often as I got older and older, and other jobs too, like especially like when I went to New York in 2004 after graduating high school. Different jobs around the kitchen. Can I say kitchen? I've traveled with my CH sounds because I was partly deaf growing up, and I had hearing tubes, and so I have trouble with my CH sounds. Like, that's why I struggle to say some words with the CH, like the sound. I have to focus to try to say it, and I might be able to say it a little bit. Sometimes I might be able to say some things, and so then I'm a little bit self-aware of that and a number of things because of those difficulties, because I didn't learn how to talk correctly, because I couldn't hear correctly, because my ears were plugged up, and sometimes they still are, but I work on it. And the thing that helped a lot was being homeschooled. Otherwise, I'd probably get addicted to Ritalin and a lot of other stuff that, I'm totally against that. And like, my mom was able to give me vitamins. Vitamins are good, and a lot of different things, natural remedies, and natural remedies does a lot. And there's like a number of things can help. And my mom helped, and a lot of people helped. And sometimes I try to give them a shout out. I try try to talk about it sometimes, but it's like quickly going through my life, I think about those things. I think about homeschooling. I was homeschooled, and I did high school, and I started making home videos in 96 with family and friends, like the Power Rangers and a bunch of other stuff. And I think about that, and I was really into it, and I really wanted to travel the world since I was about 8. Since I was about 8 years old. I really wanted to travel the world, and I really wanted to be the next Billy Graham, and the next Michael Jackson, and the next Michael Jordan. I wanted to be tall, black, and in the NBA. And I wanted to be Will Smith, and I wanted to be a number of things. Growing up, I wanted to be an astronaut, and a lot of this started especially around 93, probably about around, I want to say around 93, when I was about 8 years old, allegedly. But allegedly, I'm going to say that word a million times, and I feel like I can't even say it correctly, which makes me want to say it again, because I'm like, you said it wrong, say it again, maybe you'll get it right this time. It's kind of funny, but it's not funny, but it's kind of funny. Like, there's a number, I want to tell you that there's a number of things that I find a little bit funny and not funny, not funny, a little bit funny, a little bit not funny, and I'm like, a little bit like totally, absolutely aware and not aware of so many things. And sometimes I tell people it, and sometimes I don't, but I've done so many things you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know, because I might not say it for another few years, a few years later. But seriously, like, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. And not that you should, but like, if you think you know, but you don't, then you don't, but you don't know that you don't know. You really don't know. You don't know me. Like I said on TikTok, you don't know me. You don't know me. You think you know, but you don't. You think you know, but you don't. And sometimes I just represent myself wrongfully. I really do. So it's like, I'm homeschooled, and I do public high school, and I'm involved in different things in high school, a number of things, and people know me as the cool kid, and the biology teacher plays my home videos, and then everybody who takes her class knows who I am, and some of them already knew me, and then I write articles for people, these EA articles, encouragement articles, and I'm like drawing pictures of people, and I'm making these playing cards, like Pokemon cards for people, where they are the Pokemon. I turn people, and not literal Pokemon, but it's like I just draw a picture of them, and I say, you're really good at running, you're really good at carrying, you're good at this, you're good at that. And mostly girls, but some men too, some guys too, but it's like, yeah, try not to be biased, but it's like, the girls are really hot. It's like, but I'm more than just one-dimensional, but you wouldn't know that if you're one-dimensional. You only see one dimension, so if you think I'm one dimension, you're probably one dimension. I guess you can't see beyond that, but it's like, I was doing that, and I was doing the drama club, and I was doing the earth club, and I was doing this thing and that thing, and part of the reason why I did that, because I wanted to be in the yearbook, and that happened especially during my last year in high school. And I was a manager for the girls basketball with Rissy Van Dyke, and I was in the lip sync. I was the crab, Sebastian, and we did a Disney theme lip sync, and we probably won. I mean, the seniors probably always win, because they're the best. And I wanted to do a Christmas theme, and Carrie Herrings was like, not everybody's Christian, not everybody. I mean, I know she said not everybody celebrates Christmas, but it was good. What we did was really good and really fun, and I love Disney, not what they did to Star Wars, but I love those classic songs, and we're able to sing them for the lip sync around December 2003, and I really enjoyed going to different colleges. College. Can I say college? Should I make fun of myself? I don't know. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And I go back and forth on whether or not I should just make fun of myself or not. And sometimes I think about making fun of other people, and sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And that's really good and really bad. Really terrible. Really so good. So terrible. So many different things. And that's what life is. I go off to college in New York, and I was involved in the children ministry team, CMT. And you know, I've been involved with that all my life because I was one, and then I got older and I started becoming a leader and a counselor, and because I was involved in ministries all my life. Now some trolls might try to make fun of that or whatever. They try to find something, and they try to be like, man, that guy, he do bad stuff because look at that one time at band camp, the one time he did a bad thing. And then I talk about that a little bit. I'm not going to do that right now, but I swear I'm going to do it one of these days. I've done it before. I'll do it again, but it's like, trying to debunk the oatmeal fake news. I talk about it, but then I don't do it, but I did. But I didn't. But I did. But I didn't. Seriously, for anybody who's keeping score, I've already done it a little bit, but not completely. In some of my videos, if you can find them, some of my videos, and I got so many videos with over 30,000 videos since I've been making videos for over 30 years. You're not gonna find. You're not gonna find them. You're not gonna find all of them. You're gonna find some of them. You're gonna find some of them. They're like, I got over 30,000 videos, but I got banned off all the websites. All the websites? Not all the websites. Not all the websites, but a lot of websites so many times since at least 2010. Wait a minute. 2010. Maybe longer, and I have had trolls going at me since 2009 online. Some of this is documented, some of this is not documented, and then I get suspended off the internet. I get banned off the internet. And so it's like, where's the evidence? It got banned too. How convenient. But it's like, not all of it's been banned. That's why I try to screenshot, and that's why you try to screenshot, and that's why the trolls try to screenshot, the haters try to screenshot some of it, and it gets lost to time, and that's great. Isn't that great that it gets lost? But then it becomes a bunch of hearsay, he said, she said kind of thing. That's what she said. It's like a teeter-totter, back and forth. It's like, and so it's like, can anybody get to the bottom of it? Because I've had so much fake news coming at me, and people are just gonna fall for it. And actually, a lot of people don't really care, and a lot of people don't really listen to the details, and they don't really care. And I'm not saying that they should, but I think it's hypocritical if you say you do, but you don't. If you don't, but you say that you care about it, but you don't. I think that's a little bit hypocritical, don't you think? And I should be a comedian, maybe. And some people told me that. Maybe they're joking about it, and they're the real comedian. But it's like, some people have told me that over the years. Some people have told me I'm a little bit funny sometimes. I'm not funny when I do this, or I'm not funny when I do that. But maybe I'm funny when I do this one thing. When I'm doing the one thing in the one way, maybe I'm funny, but not when I'm doing this thing or that thing. And a lot of people have told me about some of that stuff. Maybe this is a little bit funny, but not with the yellow teeth. No, that's really bad. But it's like with your face and your phone and the audio, the microphone's so bad, and your face is so bad, and your life is so bad, and the mice, all the goddamn mice that you stuck in the tree is so bad, and this thing is so bad, and this other thing is so bad, and edit this video to include all the different bad stuff, and so it's like you're a terrible person, that you're so great, you're so incredible of a person, Oatmeal Joey Arnold, what an incredible, terrible person you are, because you did this great, and that great, and terrible, and this thing, and that thing, and it goes on, and it looks like I'm upset, and excited, and terrified, and bipolar, and I am, and I'm not, but it's like all these people told me about all the good stuff and bad stuff, and you might not know about the good stuff and the bad stuff, or you might know a little bit about the good stuff or the bad stuff, but you don't know about the good stuff or the bad stuff, because you only know one or the other, and I don't know which one you are. If you're watching this, you might be the one and not the other. You might know a little bit of the one thing, but not the other thing. You might know about this thing, but not that thing. You might know a little, and then that's why I feel like I gotta repeat myself and just go through this rant for 2 hours, even though I know that the average viewer is only gonna watch the first 5 seconds. You only gotta watch the 5 seconds, and then I'm like, man, maybe if I talk really fast, they'll listen to the whole thing. But that's not gonna happen. But I gotta repeat myself, but a lot of people don't know. But it's like I'm not including the receipts, the goddamn receipts, the proof and the evidence, which I'm gonna do, I swear. And then it's like, that's why I try to talk about the oatmeal fake news a little bit sometimes. But you know, one of the people, person, bike, boat, ship. Thinking about, one of the people that told me I should be a comedian was Tiffany Cumbo. And she said that one time, probably around 95. I want to say that, and because that probably happened. I mean, it happened. I just don't know exactly what year, but I think it was probably around 95 when I had some kind of sleepover. Not really a sleepover, but it's like she probably went home at the end. Maybe I don't know, because she was hanging out with my sister Crystal, and then we did that because we're just like neighbors and stuff, and like, we're watching a movie and stuff, and then I was just talking and stuff, and Tiffany said, like, you should be a comedian, and maybe I should, and sometimes I'm like, man, if I'm a comedian, everybody will take me as a joke, and maybe that's the point, but that's really good, and that's very terrible, and there's a lot of truth in that. Maybe you gotta be that person. Maybe you're that kind of person too. And maybe you should be that kind of person, and maybe you should be that person, definitely, because even though it's hard in life to be that kind of person, maybe you gotta be that person, especially if you're destined to be on the goddamn stage. And sometimes you just gotta do that. And so it's like, growing up, I was homeschooled there, and then I went to public high school, and I did all these things growing up with all these different people, and all these good things happened, all these terrible things happened, and I did this thing, and that thing, and the other thing, and so many things, and building things, and trying to build things, like a dollhouse for my sister, and trying to put mice in the tree, but they fall off and freeze to death and die, except for the one that got back in the house somehow, and nobody knows. And then it's like, what a man to do when he's trying to build robots out of ping pongs. He's trying to ping pong bowling pins. That's what they were, not ping pongs. They're bowling pins. And skateboards that could fly like Back to the Future. Dun 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 dun. And I did this thing and that thing. And I'm like running around playing basketball and video games and Mario and SimCity and Donkey Kong, and this game and that game, and board games, and chess, and checkers, and climbing trees, and running around. Scooby-Doo, where are you? Captain Planet, you're our hero. You're gonna turn the planet back from zero. Because we gotta do that. Because climate change. Wait, AI needs giant data centers. So you gotta give up your land and give it to us. I think about my life, and I was gonna say that I was gonna go over my life really quickly. So it's like, once upon a time, I was born in 85, and I was homeschooled and did all these things in high school and bunch of colleges and camps around. I moved around, born in Oregon, went over to New York for college and camps and jobs and ministries, and I did a mission trip in Idaho. I went to Idaho when I was 15, and Quebec. when I was about 21 or something? 21. 2006, we went to Quebec, and I was just going around. I mean, in my life, I just kept on going and going and going. But I was running into a bunch of dead ends sometimes, and that's okay. But it's like when life is hard, sometimes it's okay to take a step back and to take a break. But eventually, if you got like inner motivation, if you're some kind of self-motivated person like me, you're addicted to the drive. Some people are not this way, apparently. Apparently, some people are not this way, but it's like for me, I'm addicted to the drive, and I'm always going, and I'm probably burning myself out. Some people understand that. Some people get it. I don't know if you get it, but I do, and I've been that kind of person as a workaholic, clean freak, maniac in a lot of ways, as a perfectionist, putting out terrible unperfectionist work, which is pretty paradoxical. I'm always going, starting projects and not finishing them, but then trying to finish them and trying to figure out how to do everything that I want to do in life, because there's so many things. And so if I recap my life and I talk about my life, then I can think about what I should do. Maybe. And maybe I can get to the bottom of it if I can figure out why the cars are going behind me. Where are they going? Why are they going down that road? What's down that road? What's down the road of my life? What's down the road of my life? I think about that a little bit. So I think, okay, so I was homeschooled, and I've been online since 95 or something. Been making videos for 30 years, been drawing forever, making up songs, just building things out of wood, literally. I like organizing. I like telling stories. I like just reorganizing and helping people figure things out. I like solving problems. And so I've been just running around really, really busy. Really busy. Is this, should I name, what do I name this video? This is some kind of rant. This is the kind of video that you would probably delete. You'd be like, I'm not gonna upload this video. And then there's probably a part of me that's like, yeah, delete this video, man. Delete. You don't need to upload a video like this again. And I got so many videos, but then I got banned. I got banned so many times off so many websites, and I talk about this in my goddamn articles and videos so many times. You have no idea, but you need to know. And not my first rodeo for this or that or anything really. I mean, almost anything. I mean, many things. I know so many things. Started this video talking about driving. Wow, did I really? Wow, that was a long time ago. That was an hour ago. Wow. Anyways, I think I'm gonna go now, even though I want to rant for another hour, and I will maybe after I take a goddamn shower. So I did all these things in my life, and then I went to Vietnam after I had a number of jobs, like living in Portland for 4 or 5 years. working at Kel's, the Irish restaurant, washing dishes, and after school assistant, helping supervise the kids as they're, just doing homework after school for a few hours until their parents take them home, whatever, kind of thing. I did that. And working with the Salvation Army with Blake Webb, and working at camps like Redwood Redwood Glen, it's a Salvation Army camp in California, and Camp Grotley in Boring, Oregon, and there was a few other camps too. But it's like I work at these camps, and I did these things, and I go to WYI, and I hang out with Lincoln Hawk, and I get inspired by him, and we talk about some things. And I wanted to go there because I always wanted to go to California, and so I wanted to work with him. That didn't happen, and then I went to Portland and worked at camps. Like in my life, I worked at camps, and I was good. And then I went to Vietnam, and I taught English for 5 years, and then I came back to America at the end of 2017, and then I've been here after that. And these past few years, I've been here, and I've been working on family projects that I've been talking about in some of my goddamn videos and stuff. I talk about what I'm doing now since I came back to America and why I came back to America. And I do a bad job. I think personally, I feel so conflicted. I feel good and great and terrified about it, about me, about it, about everything. I have so many mixed feelings when I think about myself, and I think about all the things I've done and not done, and this thing and that thing, and the videos and the articles and everything, online and offline. I think about all these things. I think about all this stuff. I think about myself. I think about my face. I think about all the stuff online and offline about myself, relating to me. And then you're thinking to yourself, man, why is this guy so self-absorbed? I'm not, but I am, but I'm not, but I am. It's a long story. It's a long story. You think, you could think whatever you want about it, and it's true and it's not. It's true and it's not. Whatever you're thinking is probably true and not true at the same time. Because there's many reasons why I say that. But that's a story for another day. That's a story for another day. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. And I really want to get to the bottom of that. I wanted to talk about my whole entire life, but then just like you can't talk about your whole entire life in a video, because then you end up ranting forever. And then the next video that I do, I'm probably gonna say the same thing, and I'm stuck in this this loop. You might say, and I might say, why are you stuck in this loop? Where it's like you make a video, you might say a few things, but then you go back and you just go over, you rehash this stuff, the number of things that you always say in your videos and your articles, and I think to myself, you're right, but you're wrong, but you're right, but you're wrong, and you're right, and you're wrong, and you're right at the same time, and I'm gonna do it. And I'm not gonna do it. And I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And I'm not gonna do it. And I'm gonna do it. And I'm not gonna do it again and again and again. And it's gonna get better and better and worse and worse and worse and worse and better as I give myself more work. Whether people watch my videos and my articles and everything, no matter how many times I get banned off the internet again and again these past 10 years, 20 years, no matter how good I get and bad I get with everything that I do, everything I don't do, everything I say, everything I don't say, the reality of it, the fake news about the Oatmeal Joey Arnold at Joey Arnold VN, and don't go to his Discord servers. I'm gonna keep on doing it. And I'm gonna keep on not doing it. And I'm gonna stop it and not stop. It's kind of stupid. What I'm saying is so stupid. But it's like, so stupid. Why am I recording? Beep, beep. Can I hack the horn right now? But even though I'm laughing, I'm serious about what I'm saying. Even though I'm like contradicting myself on purpose, by the way. I don't know how many people are gonna watch this or whatever, you know. I might be wasting my time, but I'm doing this for a lot of different reasons, believe it or not. Believe it or not, I'm doing this for a lot of reasons. And I believe in them, even though I probably, maybe I shouldn't. You'd be like, stop it. Stop believing in a number of things. And I could list them, and I write articles about it. I write I have a daily blog, and my blog is syndicated on a number of websites. And I've been, as a writer, I've been writing things for 20 years, 30 years. I got a lot of stuff. Now, a lot of it is bad. This is one of my disclaimers. I got a lot of disclaimers, and one of my disclaimers is, a lot of my stuff is bad. A lot of my stuff is bad, even though I put it out. And I'm a perfectionist, and I only want perfect stuff, but I put out not perfect stuff, which is a paradox. Paradox is another paradox. I love paradoxes because I'm bipolar and stuff. Bipolar. Not really bipolar. I pretend to be bipolar. I'm a fraud. Terrible joke, but it's true, but it's not true, but it is, but it isn't. I think it's funny and not funny and funny. I'm going to talk about this more and not talk about this more. Stupid. A lot of times I put my glasses on. I look at my content and I'm like, that's terrible. But then I upload it anyways. I don't delete it anyways. But then I don't have to delete it because I get banned so many times. Anyways, what am I going to do? I'm going to continue to do what I do and not do, and I'm going to do it better and harder. Like the Kanye West song. Faster, stronger, harder, right now, right here. Yeah, yes, right here. I'm going to turn into Red Letter Media. Can I do that? Are they hiring? I mean, if they're going to hire macaroni and cheese, Macaulay Culkin, why not me? I'm home alone too.